Welcome everybody to the Six Ring King Show. Jazz Santana here, joined by Paul Austria and Danny Gillette. What's going on, fellas? How you guys doing?
Good. Can someone move this logo? I'm kind of. Let's see.
Yeah, why are you so close to the screen today? What's going on with you,
There
man?
you go. There you go.
I think
There you go.
There
there
you
we
go.
go. I am
Behind
looking
the scenes on
outside.
the ones, behind the
There's no
scenes on the
snow out
ones
here.
and twos is David Eversole, who rarely decides to join us now, but we're happy to have him at least in the background.
He's
So
a busy
shout out
man.
to Dave. Hopefully he can come on and spit some Miami Hurricanes football with us because that's what we're all about, right? Big day today, fellas. Wow,
Exciting
we even
day.
know we almost forgot it was National Signing Day because God knows I almost forgot. It's funny because all 24 guys are in, right? We're all ready to go. 21 of them are incoming freshmen, I guess, and then the other three are your transfer portal guys. Paul and I were on the press conference earlier today as Manny kind of introduced the whole defensive staff and was also talking about how many players, well, how many scholarships we have and how many how many kids are on the team and this, that, and the other. And he did mention that we're not even at a whole 85, but he just can't bring anybody else on, which if it's kind of tough. But at the same time, with all the guys that came back, I think that the Kings are starting to build some depth, which is fun to see, which is nice to see, and maybe somehow they'll figure out a way to get one more guy. Maybe they're still looking at that linebacker from USC, so we'll talk a little bit about that also. But let's start off first with. I definitely want to start off first with the biggest story I think out of the whole thing is the hiring of Travis Williams, linebacker coach, and Bob Shoop, who, not to get mistaken with Bob Stoops, everybody, Bob Shoop, who is a former defensive coordinator for Mississippi State, Tennessee, and for Penn State as well. Uh, Paul, start off with you on this. We know of Travis Williams from his time at Auburn, University of Auburn, and he's also very good friends with Travaris Robinson, right? Both SEC guys. Actually, listen, most of our defense now is SEC guys, right? Former SEC guys: Shoop, Williams, Robinson.
Robinson.
Um,
Simpson's an NFL guy, so that's
he's an
also
NFL guy. I mean, that you can't complain there either. And he was, he did coach at Buford, which is very heavy SEC,
Atlanta
heavy
powerhouse.
heavy SEC recruiting grounds also. So he knows a little bit about SEC football. Talk to me a little bit about what you think of that hiring with Travis Williams, and you know what, for that matter, just the whole coaching, the whole defensive staff, and of course, Manny Diaz also did mention and kind of solidify his role as defensive coordinator.
I mean, I'm very, very excited about this staff. Probably most excited I've been in a long time. I mean, we've seen what happened with Rick, with Golden, where they kind of just bring in their guys. They stay stubborn. They kind of just they see the problem on the field, and yet they don't do anything to correct it. And I feel like this, I guess you could call this turnover. I guess it's worked out for the better for Miami, and um, it's definitely very promising. I think today we saw the press conferences with Simpson, T. Rob, and T. Will, and they just all seemed very, very excited, fired up, enthusiastic about their positions, and you can even see it with with T. Rob. It definitely helps that he's a Miami guy, and I feel like the reporters on the call were definitely asking a lot of great questions because he was a guy that went to school in Miami. I think he went to Coral Park. I think where did exactly guys, where he went to college, where he played college ball at? Was it Auburn
Yeah, he
or?
played at Auburn. Played at Auburn.
Okay. Yeah, and I think one of the person in the call asked him, okay, you were a guy that left Miami, so why should I consider staying at Miami? And he came ready with an answer where he said that um his mom had been to all of his games throughout his life up until college, and it just wasn't financially feasible for his mom to make the trip all the way to Auburn to see him. And I think that is something that he doesn't want these local recruits, especially, to lose. That's a big thing, especially, we already know that the appeal of staying home is that you can play in front of your friends and family, and as well too, like T Rob's also, I think he used to coach at Florida as well. Coached a lot of great DBs over there, and not even that long ago, like probably like 6, 7 years ago.
Yep.
Definitely brings a lot of great experience, and he. What I did like about T Rob especially was the whole recruit. The when he talked about recruiting, where he doesn't even contact the recruit first. He contacts their parents and their guardians first, and I feel like that honestly means a lot because I think a lot of I guess a lot of coaches can get lost in the fact that yeah, you are trying to convince the player um, that their school they're representing is the place for them, but you kind of take into consideration that these are still minors where they I don't want to say they're controlled by their parents, but their parents also provide a lot of influence on their lives, and I think the parents also want to look out for the best of the kid, and it's also just knowing that I guess they are raised right. You just want to see their household environment, so on and so forth, and I think that's big. And same thing that goes with T. Will, the new linebackers coach, he came from Auburn. Yeah, he came from Auburn. T. Rob came from South Carolina, and I think the way just T. Will spoke about emulating what it means to be a Miami Hurricane, and how he's going to coach the guys. I mean, he went into detail about how he wants the linebackers on the roster now to realize what it means to play for the University of Miami, and he did dub it linebacker U, which is huge. But just being aware of the guys that have played before you, the kind of style that they want to play, and that even with accountability of sorts, that he said that if one of these guys, like Zach McLeod or whoever's on the roster, makes a mistake on the field, that he's not going to go out and be like, well, Zach should have done better. Zach messed up on that. No, he said he'll take full responsibility for that mistake, and
For not coaching him right. For not coaching him
yeah,
the right
it boils
way.
down to what the habits that they're doing in practice, the coaching, things of that sort. And he's really like all three of these guys are really really excited to really be in this position. And then same thing goes with Simpson, where I mean we've seen what Simpson did with the team in what was 2018. I think so many TFLs, great third down defense, just relentless pressure on the quarterback. I mean that was the year where they had Gerald Willis, uh, Shaq, Pickney, Joe Jackson. It's probably another name I'm forgetting as well. But yeah, that like it. Simpson, I feel like it's a sure thing. Like he's pumped. He's ready. He has experience. It's just an easy
It
plug
sounds
in.
pumped, man. Those
Yeah,
guys sound so hyped up and so like, uh, I don't know, man. It's just I hate to say it sounds so cliche. It sounds so fanny, I guess you say, but like it feels different, right? It feels
yeah,
different, just like the way that Coach Williams, and Coach Robinson talk. Like they speak
yeah.
like I hate what people are gonna say. Well, what does that even mean? But they speak like SEC coaches. They
Yeah.
speak like it's just different. And you, Paul, you
They
heard it. It's
yeah,
just it's weird.
they care about their job, and I feel like they definitely care about the growth and well being of their players. Like I mentioned, like they're both very, especially T. Rob and T. Well, they're very personable. They're not going to just care about what you do in the field. They're going to care about you as men. And I
Right.
feel like if you're a parent of a football recruit, I feel that's all really you need to hear. That you care, that you just the person that I don't want to say the person, the man that will be spending the most time with your child, but like a man that will play a big role, in those 3 to 4 years, will care more about just how many plays he makes, how many highlights he can come up with. No, they care about the growth, and maturity as men, and I feel
But
like
one
that's
of I
go ahead.
forgot which one mentioned it. I don't remember if it was T. Rob or T. Will, but one of them even said that I'm going to coach you up real hard, but I'm also going to love you equally as hard. I think it was Robinson. I think it was T. Rob who said that. But like that just like tells you everything you need to know about how he is going to, build that defensive backfield and coach them up and treat them the way that that an SEC coach would. And I hate to say that because I always defend the ACC for being a pretty damn good conference and that they've been able to hang with a lot of SEC programs. But the bottom line is SEC football is different. And if you bring those guys over here and you start implementing that mentality into this football program, and you start recruiting like an SEC football program. And I know that they might have a little more money than we do and this and the other, but still, man,
A
you
little
can
more,
recruit. Yeah,
a little
just
more.
a little bit. That you can still recruit like them. You can still go out there and you can still get those players because our name and our logo and our brand carries weight. So that's just the bottom line. And then when you bring guys
Yeah,
like T. Rob and T. Will in, listen, Travaris Robinson and Travis. It's kind of tough. Travis Williams are good friends. They know what it takes to win at the SEC level, right? At the highest of highest. Of like you said, Paul. T. Rob was at Florida when he had Vernon Hargraves and he had Tease Tabor and he had Duke Dawson and he had all these guys over there that were studs. Okay, he may have even coached Major Wright. I'm not even sure, or that might have been right. That might have been
old
before.
Name. Whoa.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
how to
Maybe
know
maybe that's too old. Maybe that's too old. But still, he was there during those times where he was able to recruit, the top cornerbacks in the country. And then he ended up going to, he's got J.C. Horn now going out probably in the first round at South Carolina, and so on, right? So, and then when he was at Auburn, right? When he was at Auburn, he was able to do some really, really incredible stuff too, as their DB coach, I believe, also at some point. So, and not only that, right? T-Rob, Travis Williams, and Rhett Lashley, all former Auburn guys who have coached there, have either won a national title there. So it's exciting to see that we're able to bring guys like that over to the coaching staff. Real quick, Danny, I want to turn it around and I'm not, obviously I don't think any of us have kids, but if you're the parent of a kid, right, of a stud 4-star, 5-star guy, and you got a coach like Travaris Robinson and Travis Williams. David, you have kids, right?
Yeah.
You want to get in on this one?
Oh, my son's not a 5-star at American Heritage. He's a 5-year-old at American Heritage. So
Only
we got a little bit of way to go, but keep an eye out. I think he might go baseball, Jazz, so be ready.
Okay, I got you there. I got you then. Well, hey, Miami's the place to be also, a top 10 program. But anyways, I'll spin it to Dave if you want to get on this also. But Danny, like if your kid gets approached by a coach like T. Will or T. Rob, I mean, it's kind of hard not to say no to those guys, right?
Correct, because you take a look at their pedigree and what they've done before this. I mean, Travaris Robinson has been all over the map from Auburn to Western Kentucky to Southern Miss. Then you take a look at a guy like Travis Williams. He's been a defensive coordinator, a co-defensive coordinator, a linebackers coach. And the energy that they bring to the table is extremely important. I mean, people may think that a coach saying, oh, we're definitely going to take care of your kid and I'm going to fight for the kid is, babying them. But it really does mean a lot for a player, especially when there is always, and there always has been, this kind of, theory that these kids are part of a machine. They play for Coach X, then Coach X leaves, and then the player goes to NFL or they don't go anywhere. So to have coaches that want to invest in your kid and play and see your kid do well and seem engaged in an era where everything is moving so fast with the transfer portal and coaches leaving and things like that is huge. And that would definitely make me or make my kid, I would definitely nudge him to Miami because these seem like coaches that really want to be here and aren't looking at Miami as just a school to pad their resume, but are looking at Miami as a school where they can achieve success.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, the bottom line is though, is now you've got your staff set up, right? Now you got to win. Forget about everything else, man. Now you got to win. Now you got to focus on developing the players that you have, the players that are coming in, and we'll talk about the players now. The recruiting this past recruiting class that we just finished up, I guess technically tonight. And but you got to coach those guys up, man. You got to prepare them to play. I mean, now it's now or never because you have to prepare them to play Alabama the first game of the season.
Yep.
Right. So there's no better time than now to prepare them to face a team like that and to know what you're made of. And I think that we're at a point where if we compete with Alabama, if we truly compete with them, then we're headed in the right direction. I hate to say that because it sounds kind of like it just sounds like you're already throwing in the towel, but it is what it is, man. I mean, listen, Alabama is who they are. They're they're losing a lot of guys, but they still got a lot of studs coming in also. So
which may work out well for us week one. We'll have to see. But I know Manny and us talked about it last week.
Yeah.
Getting Alabama on that first week is huge because they may encounter some bumps in the road that Miami can take advantage of.
Absolutely. If this is the best year, this is the best year in a long time to catch Alabama. Maybe kind of
Slipping.
slipping, I guess is a good word, right? Because of all the guys that they've lost. Turning it around to going back to National Signing Day, because obviously, we spoke to all the coaches, and the coaches sound real excited. The defensive side of the football is who we heard from today. So we'll start off with the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, Leonard, the biggest names, Leonard Taylor and James Williams, 5-star from Palmetto, and the safety from American Heritage. Both guys are huge pickups. Guys that this is year number 2 in a row that we signed the number 1 safety, right? Or at least a 5-star number 1 safety in the country. And it looks like 2022 might be another year that Kamari Wilson looks like he's a lean to Miami too. And we'll talk about the 2022 class in a little bit also. But James Williams, guy that can come in and probably get some playing time right away. And so can Leonard Taylor. Those are the 2 guys that kind of stand out to me the most. But I will say that my sleeper on the defensive side of the football is going to have to be, I guess you can say Malik Curtis and Chase Smith. I think those 2 guys are my sleeper picks. I think Malik Curtis is going to be all over the field. I think he's a kid that can play both sides of the football and may play both sides of the football here at UM, and he's probably going to do some kick returning and punt returning as well. But look for him to get some time at corner. Although if you heard DeMarcus Van Tyke, who's another good, I think he's another good hire on that defensive side. Him and T-Rob also spoke about Marcus Clark developing and having some of the best some of the best skill set on that side of the football as a cornerback. So, but I really think that a kid like Chase Smith is going to come in and get some time at rushing off the edge because with the loss of Roche and Phillips, I think we're going to need. It's going to be a, I guess, edge by committee. So look for those guys to be big, but definitely Leonard Taylor and James Williams. So what are some of the guys that you see, whether it's defense or offense, that could make an impact, but that you're kind of excited to see here at the University of Miami?
Ooh. I think LT for me is a given. I think he's like one of the best defensive tackle prospects to come out of South Florida in a long time. I think he's already at a good weight. I mean, the only I guess concern I would have is that he's not enrolling until the summer.
Right.
Would have been nice to have him for the spring, but it is what it is. I think same thing goes for James Williams. He's enrolling in the summer as well because he goes because of Heritage. I don't think they allow you. I think at Heritage and Aquinas they don't allow you to graduate early. I think I don't know something about Ken Kitchens. Just because he plays more of that free safety role. And I mean, I think with Gervin Hall especially, I personally would think I thought that Hall would have been a lot better by now. I mean, good for him that he actually is coming back, and I definitely think he's going to make a great impact this year. But I don't know, just Kitchens being like a Miami guy, flying all over the place, and he's already at 200 pounds too. Like he definitely has the weight to make an impact early. I can definitely see him. If we're including transfers, though, I mean, I think one guy that's pretty much a given right now, especially at corner where we're already like basically kind of paper thin, is Tyreek Stevenson. Kid is huge. I mean, you even coming out of high school, like, you saw how well that guy's built. He's jacked already, and I think that especially playing in SEC for 1 year, right? Was it a year or 2 years? I think it was 1 year, right?
I don't know, man. I feel like he's a sophomore, but I'm not 100% sure. But either way, I think he has 3 years to play. So
okay, even better then. So I think that he definitely will make a big impact. And I mean, if Ivy or Blades are slipping, he's definitely right there. And I mean, knowing that we're kind of back to like a Manny Diaz defense, they're gonna rotate guys for sure, especially on the D line. So you'll see multiple guys as well. I mean, I think Simpson really likes DeAndre Johnson's skill set as well.
yeah, I keep forgetting about him, and he's like he's probably going to be our biggest playmaker on the at the edge.
D line. Oh yeah, for sure. And I think we thought that Jafari Harvey would break out this past season. It didn't happen, but I'm sure that it's with Simpson back now. It's really exciting to just kind of see what the guys are capable of. And let me see if there's another guy that I think that would make an impact this coming year.
It's kind of, if you're going to continue with the theme of transfers, why not Charleston Rambo, right?
Rambo. Oh yeah,
You know?
Rambo is. This is definitely, I think we talked about it before. Rambo, getting Rambo definitely, it should be a wake up call to Mark Pope and D Wiggins. That that like think about it. If
We've said
Miami's
that
basically
before.
Miami's gonna have 3 seniors. I mean, they didn't anticipate on getting Harley back, but it would have been Pope and Wiggins as the 2 seniors. And even still, like, your coaches went out and still got another transfer. I mean, of course, it's good to encourage competition or whatever, but like, if you're Pope and Wiggins, you got to take at least some kind of disrespect or offense to that,
Oh yeah.
So hopefully it starts a chain where it wakes those guys up. I mean, it's hopefully receiver play gets a lot better and more consistent, because we really we were probably only 1 or 2 drops from Pope, or I guess drops into catches. I mean, away from even tying or even winning that game, the bowl game. I mean, so it's crucial, and I think that overall, this is a very, I mean, aside from cornerback, this is a very, very good class. Like, it's South Florida heavy. It's a bunch of hungry guys. These guys are no fluke at all. And I mean, also, okay, last name, I think I'm intrigued, is Jabari Ishmael, the son of the assistant, one of the assistant strength trainers on the team. I don't know. He has that ideal
I didn't even
length.
know that. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, his dad is Victor Ishmael. I think he's been with the team for a long, like about 10 years at least.
Oh wow.
He has that ideal height and length that Simpson likes in his defensive ends. And I'm kind of curious to see how well he would do in this defense, because I feel like Simpson could take any defensive end and just turn it into a freakish monster.
Yeah. I mean, look, here's the thing. We're building depth, fellas. I mean, that's just the bottom line. I don't recall us having this much depth. Whether we don't, I mean, we don't have a superstar at defensive end right now, but we've got the depth. We've got Cam Williams, who I think coaches are higher on Cam Williams than they are on Jafari Harvey right now. He just kind of showed a really high end motor last year, and it looks like he's got some good pass rushing moves. So I think they're excited about him. But his brother Chance, it's not really his brother, but his brother Chance Williams is another kid. They have, like you said, Jafari Harvey. Now they got DeAndre Johnson. They got a couple of other guys there. It looks like Coach Simpson wants Blissett back at defensive tackle, so he's going to move back to defensive tackle. Elijah Roberts, I think, is moving inside, right? I believe he got moved inside late last year. Maybe he moves back outside. I mean, now this is Coach Simpson's line, so he can kind of mold them and make them into what he wants. But you also got guys that can rush the passer on the outside, like Chase Smith coming in. And now Zach McLeod, in his 17th season as a Miami Hurricane, is going to play defensive end as well. So he's going to play the edge, and maybe he puts on a little bit more weight and he plays the edge better. I don't know. I don't know what to expect from Zach McLeod anymore. I'm praying to
hard.
Yeah, I'm praying that, because
he's been here longer than Udonis has been with the Heat. So he's got to hope by now he's better.
I look at him, I'm pretty sure he walks into a Hertz and uses his AARP card now. So I mean, it's just unbelievable how long he's been here. So at this point, he's got to show up, or he's not going to get a lot of playing time, because there is a lot of depth now on this team, and it's going to start to show when you got to go into late into games, and you got to put your big boy pants on, and you're going to see the depth there. Danny, I want to kind of move it over to you and talk about a guy that we haven't really, I can't believe we haven't even spoken about him that much. And it's just funny, because typically that would be the first person that we'd probably mention. But it's four-star quarterback Jake Garcia, who is an early enrollee, which is nice to see. So he's going to come in and he's going to compete right away with Tyler Van Dyke for that backup position. But he could start. Well, he could get playing time early in the season with De'Aaron King being out with that torn ACL. We're not sure if he's going to make it up. I mean, they're saying all the right things, but who knows? So, talk to me about what you think, Danny, because I'm of this. I guess you can say I'm I'm on this side of it. I think that talent-wise, Jake Garcia is a better quarterback. Okay, of the two. However, Van Dyke has been there now a year under Rhett Lashley's offense. Okay, so he's got a little experience in the offense. So could he be the one that gets the nod at the quarterback position? At starting quarterback if the Eric King has to miss some time, or do you say screw it, man? I'm going to go with the most talented guy. Go ahead and let him go out there and do his thing and call it. This season it is what it is, and if he plays well, then we're fine. Then we're good. And we've got a lot to look forward to. What do you think they do at the beginning of the season if the Eric King can't go?
Well, for starters, they better take lots of notes regarding the quarterback competition and how they perform in practices, because there's going to be a very tough decision. For me, I would go, especially if we're facing Alabama week 1, with talent, because we're going to have to match, or at least try to match, what Alabama brings to the table. And we want to put a good showing out there in week 1. So I would almost go with Jake Garcia. I think he fits very well in terms of today's football quarterback. He's mobile. He can make throws on the run. He can step up in the pocket. I believe last year I called him similar to Tom Brady in terms of his pocket. If that doesn't tell you anything, then I don't know what does.
At least you didn't say Johnny Unitas.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Johnny U. Good old Johnny U. But
Shout out to Manny.
what a show that was. Let's do another one of those soon.
Yeah, right.
I would go with Jake Garcia, because although Tyler Van Dyke may know the system a little bit more, I want to see what Garcia can do and what he can bring to the table, because it would be different if Miami was playing William and Mary week 1, but this is not William and Mary. This is Alabama, and what better way to see what Jake Garcia has and what he can bring than against Alabama?
Paul, you think Jake Garcia over or TVD early? Obviously the competition has to play out, right? They have to practice,
yeah.
they have to play out. But if we're going strictly in terms of talent wise, I think Jake Garcia is a more talented quarterback. It's not to take anything away from TVD, because he came in as a 4-star quarterback, but the truth is he played in Connecticut. Okay, and that's the first thing, right? He didn't play against the level of competition that Jake Garcia played in California and in Georgia. Right? It's not like he transferred from California to South Dakota to go play. No, he went to Georgia. So I mean, the level of competition is there for him. So, and you see the talent, you see the arm strength, you see the mobility. He's a big dude. He's what, 6'3", 6'4", so he's a tall kid. He's a tall kid. So I mean, what's your take on that?
I mean, you definitely have a point. I mean, I think you did bring up before that that DVD did play high school ball in Connecticut. I don't even know what elite football player has come from that area, or at least Connecticut in specific. But
not a ton. Speaking from somebody who lives up here, not a ton.
Exactly. So I think I'm just more trustful in the fact that TVD actually has been on the roster. I'm assuming practicing, not even just scout team, but just practicing, at least playing college level, or at least facing college level defenses in practice. And even just being on the field in these games, he recognizes that the atmosphere, the intensity, the adversity even. And I think that, I mean, Garcia definitely has played against, or he's played, in situations like that, especially in, he's played at Grayson. I forgot what the other Georgia school what it was, but they play in front of big crowds, and those games are intense, and especially also in California, same thing goes over there as well, and he's still able to shine over there too. So, but for me, even with that, I don't think it's not fair, but it's a lot to ask from a true freshman to play your first game in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That's a big stadium, against Alabama in a huge. I'm assuming, I'm assuming everything's back to normal, even though it's wishful thinking. It's a packed house. It's 80,000 fans screaming at you. It's gonna be tough, because that's basically gonna be the first game, like a year, He goes 1 year from shredding high school defenses to now facing probably the most talented defense in the country. With probably at least half those guys, half the guys on defense bound to play in the NFL, like for sure. So it's a lot to ask for,
Yeah.
And I mean, I do want to. I do think Jake will be great one day, but it's man, you're. I mean, I'm sure he's mentally strong as well. I mean, he definitely has the build for it. But I'm scared for
That's
him
gonna
if
be
you
tough.
throw him into the fire that
That's gonna be
first
tough.
game.
Yeah, you're right.
So
You're right. We'll see what happens. We're gonna have to wait and see what happens in the spring and the summer and how they develop, and if he's got the gonads to go in there and do it. So
There's no bad option, which is
no,
good, I think.
yeah. I think we're confident that they're not going to look like fools. But then again, it is Alabama. So before we head on out, let's kind of go over a little bit, real quick, for a couple minutes on the 2022 class. Just a couple of names that I want to throw out there. Obviously, some of the committed prospects: Jamal Johnson, who's the defensive lineman at Hollywood Chaminade, and also the another defensive lineman, Brandon Cleveland. So Jess Simpson and that defensive staff is loading up on defense again. Brandon Cleveland from Tampa Carrollwood Day, he's got offers like LSU, Oregon, Tennessee, Florida State, Auburn, Penn State. So he's got a slew of offers, and so does Jamal Johnson. So two big name defensive linemen, again from South Florida and from Central and South Florida, both. But there's some other names out there that I think we've got a really good chance we've got a really good chance of landing. First one I want to mention is another guy that we're definitely going to need on that defensive end is Shamar Stewart, the kid out of Pace. He's a 5-star defensive end right now. Big dude, 6'5", 236 already. So that's nice size. But a guy that I mentioned earlier is Kamari Wilson, who is a big time safety, a 5-star safety, probably the number 1 safety in the country again, out of IMG. Another big dude, 6'1", 195. If the Canes land him, looks like they may land the top safety in the country 3 years in a row. You got to do something with that.
Yeah.
At this point, you got to do something with that.
The talent is there now. It's just now we're kind of just gonna be like, okay, if the talent is there, then what's wrong with coaching? Our eyes are gonna be solely focused on coaching because at that point there's no excuse.
Now there isn't. There really isn't. Zach Rice, who's a kid that came into the picture too, out of Virginia. He's probably a long shot, a 5-star offensive lineman, offensive tackle, but could be a kid that the at the Canes pool. They've got the Rice to the U hashtag going right now on Twitter, so that's nice to see. Another cornerback, a big time cornerback, a 4-star, Kamari Rogers. Another out-of-state kid, and I like out-of-state kids because a lot of the studs that play for Miami are out-of-state kids. So this kid's from Lexington, Mississippi, is a big corner, long, lengthy guy, 6'1". He's a little thin at 168, 170, but I think he'll fill in. And if he's a 6'1", 190 kid, I think you're fine at cornerback. And then some other kids just to kind of round out: Marvin Jones Jr. out of American Heritage.
They need to get him. He's good. He's been making big plays in big games, man. He's built.
I mean, listen, if you get a kid like Shamar Stewart and Marvin Jones, you're set. Yes, Marvin Jones, 6'4", 225. If he fills out to about 250, 260, you're good there. Yeah. But another kid, another stud that's in Chaminade also with Jamal Johnson is Kenyatta Jackson, who's another defensive end. That's another big dude. And of course, another local kid is linebacker Wesley Besainth. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. But a big-time linebacker, Wesley Besainth. And of course, another legacy, Earl Little Jr., who's a cornerback out of American Heritage, who's a 4-star guy. So they've got a lot of guys that are really looking at Miami hard, some big-time names for 2022. And I just think it's a matter of time with a guy like Travis Williams, who his first day on the job offered 4 stud linebackers, and just hit the ground running. And Travaris Robinson obviously is hit the ground running here recruiting also. So I think having those 2 guys on staff is only going to make it a little bit easier to land those big name guys.
Also, we didn't mention the secondary at Hollandale. There's a lot of studs in the Hollandale secondary. I think that there's at least 3 4-star guys in the secondary alone. There's 2 4-star safeties in Alfonso Allen and Jalen Marshall. They're both top 18 safeties. They have a corner too, I think. I can't find the corner, but I think even the two corners over there are studs. And honestly, like I thought that last year's class was South Florida heavy. There's so much talent in this.
This year, I think this year's even stronger. Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. Like it's literally Miami. Miami can't land all these guys, and just to be in the conversation. Because I was gonna say if they can't land Kamari Wilson, I mean I think they're the favorites right now. Just honestly, just lock down the entire Hollandale secondary, because they're all Broward guys. They're all really good. I think Miami's been linked to Allen for a while too. I thought it would have been Wilson and Allen, or it will. I guess it would be. Yeah, I thought Wilson and Allen were their top two targets at safety. But yeah, even like you mentioned, like Heritage, there's still a lot of talent. Jones in the middle, Chaminade's defensive line, like they pump out D line guys each year. Last year Miami got lucky with Allen Hay.
Yep.
I think there's another guy in that line that went somewhere else. I'm not really sure, but yeah, I think even this year, three of their four starters are going like Power 5, for sure. Like no doubt about it. Especially Jackson. Kenyatta Jackson is gonna be
Kenyatta and Jamal Johnson, both of those kids. So, and one's already committed to Miami. So if we can get the other, that would be nice too. So definitely
nice little pipeline.
Oh yeah. Listen, I don't think this is gonna end. I think we're gonna be on again very soon here. We'll talk with some recruiting gurus. I will have, by the way, I'll have Gabby Urrutia on Sunday morning to talk a little bit about this 2021 class and into 2022. He had some really good questions today. If you heard him on there, I can't ask questions sometimes. I'm in the middle of my desk and I'm surrounded by people. So imagine me unmuting and be like, no.
We're at the bottom, I feel like, of the priority list for questions, which I'm assuming because we're newbies.
Dude, but we don't raise our hand. We got to raise our hand. But I just can't because I'm in the middle of the thing. Raise your hand and ask a question. I bet you it'll get answered.
I'm just trying to tweet out all the quotes, so it's like hard to like
think
of a question and type it out. So I'm trying to get all the quotes to you guys, so you guys are aware of what they're saying in case you're not tuned in. So,
for me, the quote of the day, and I will have this audio hopefully by this weekend, is Jess Simpson saying that this defensive line are going to be vertical penetrators. I'm out of here. I'm done. I can't.
Long, and then you also doing like the long, lengthy.
Yeah, we're gonna be long, lengthy
words, and
vertical penetrators. Long, lengthy vertical penetrators.
But he's so passionate about what he's saying and his philosophy that I'm sure he doesn't even think about that. But it's like, man,
we're gonna change this show name to the vertical penetrators.
Also, one more name I'm gonna throw in there is Travell Mullen.
Oh, Travell Mullen, yeah, of course, yeah, cornerback, yeah.
Trayvon's little brother. I think Trayvon went to Clemson.
Right.
I think Miami is the favorite for Travell as well, and a lot of people are speaking highly of Mullen. So and also, I mean, I don't know if you guys know, but we need cornerbacks. So I mean,
cornerbacks are overrated.
Yeah. If LT can play cornerback, then that could help as well. But
we're probably going to get 3 or 4 in this class coming up in 2022. At least 3 or 4.
Hopefully. I mean, we did change up the recruiting build, and I think Diaz did throw in that he feels like DVD would be a better finisher. About
closing, right? Yeah.
Yes, about closing. Yes. So we'll see about that.
Super dig on Rumpf, but anyways, throwing shade his way. Anyways, thank you guys for coming on. Hopefully we'll get some more information soon, and we'll be back next week with some more. But keep it locked. Got to get you guys on the show on Sunday. The Sunday Sports Drop, 7 to 9.
Spring practice, March 13th as well.
March 13th. That's right. March 13th, yes. Spring practice. So we'll see you guys on the other side. Take it easy. Thank you guys. I got to go make mashed potatoes. That's my finish. I'm out.
Later.